This episode of Tekzilla is brought to you by Domain.com.
Now, 5 months ago at CES, Razer showed off a gaming tablet called Project Fiona. Now it's called the Razer Edge Pro, and we managed to get one in-house. And here to give us a rundown on this gaming tablet is producer of Tekzilla, Roger.
Hello.
All right, so we definitely were checking this out pretty hard at CES. So this is what we saw back then, or has it been changed?
This is essentially the same product that they showed off back in the beginning of here. Let me see if I can
back in January.
Back in January, as you can see. Here, let me make and get a good
got
shot
some
on
Tomb Raider.
I'm not playing. I'm manipulating Tomb Raider at this point. It's a 10.1-inch IPS screen, multi-touch, 8 gigs of DDR3, Core i7, dual core. It's basically a mobile Core i7. It goes with a Intel HD 4000, plus it also features an Nvidia GT 640M, but it uses Optimus technology, so it'll bounce between the two GPUs depending on whether you're gaming or whether you're just doing traditional tablet stuff.
Oh, nice.
Now, I will say that overall, as a gaming platform, it does okay. Especially with the form factor in consideration. I mean, I was playing Tomb Raider pretty well, as well as BioShock Infinite and Metro Last Light, which is also a pretty kind of hefty game.
Right.
Now, I will preface that by saying that I played it on a desktop monitor and keyboard and mouse.
Oh, okay. So you're using this as basically as the computer, the gaming PC,
exactly,
and using your peripheral separately.
And I did that mainly because I wanted to get a good judge of what the frame rates. And now I mirrored the display, and so I kept it at the same resolution as the tablet has it at. And for the most part, it's infinitely playable. If you've ever played on a laptop or a gaming laptop, for that matter, works just as well. Now, the downside to all of this, unfortunately, is that while it's good at gaming, the form factor itself does not really lend itself to that kind of gaming.
Really?
Unfortunately. Unless you're playing something like Civilization 5, which actually takes advantage of the multi-touch screen, which is, makes sense. You can just touch the screen all over. For games like Tomb Raider, they actually you actually pay extra, this controller that you can hold, these grips.
Yeah.
Comes with 2 thumbsticks, a bunch of buttons, a D-pad, shoulder buttons, of one of which I could not get to operate because you have this like weird Tomb Raider vision in here that I can't activate. But it's a tablet, and it's a very heavy tablet. With the controller added on, it's about 4 pounds.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, if you imagine yourself holding that up, just hold it up, 4 pounds over, say, 25 minutes, it's going to get pretty fatiguing, and I found it to be very cumbersome after a while, especially if you're playing any kind of really kind of intense first-person shooter or even something like Tomb Raider, because your body's put in a very awkward position.
Yeah.
Now, the other issue is because it's a tablet, but it's running a Core i7, it gets really hot. So,
I guess that would be a good thing to think
So
about.
you definitely want to leave it in that cradle as it starts heating up, because if you can even feel on the bottom here, the temperature, that's just from a couple of minutes. It gets a lot hotter as soon as I pop this out. It's also, as I said, 4 pounds. It's very heavy for a tablet. It's a lot like the Microsoft Surface Pro. It's a full-fledged notebook crammed into a tablet form factor.
So how is it when you take it out of the gaming apparatus?
So if I take it out of the apparatus, it's a very simple matter here. You just pop that out.
Oh,
and
it's still pretty large, yeah.
It's still pretty large. It's still a very thick device. And it's expensive. Now, this is a review unit of the top of the end line that they have with the Core i7 and 256 gigs of SSD storage, $1,450. It's a lot.
That's a lot for a tablet.
And the controller attachment is an additional price I couldn't actually suss out from the website. The only saving grace is because this thing chews through batteries, I went from 80% on battery to you need to recharge now in about 45 minutes worth of game playing, as well as just going through websites. It's as a tablet, you need a little bit more life than just an hour, or less than an hour.
So what do we think about this? Do we chalk this up to just being a first generation issue? Do you think it's something where the price will kind of come down with time, hopefully, or is it like a top of the line device that is just going to be a cool thing to have that no one else really has?
The problem is, the way I see it, is this is a device with a very limited purpose, which is gaming in a situation where you can't use a gaming desktop nor use a gaming laptop. Like, you don't have a Surface to put it on. You don't have anything you can put a laptop on and start gaming. You need to be able to play using the Cradle device and basically do this the entire time you're on the airline or you're on the train.
Well, I mean, that does kind of solve that issue, because if you like having the precision of using controllers and you don't want to be using your touchpad, for example, or needing to connect an external mouse, that does solve some of those problems on the go.
It solves it, but it introduces the whole weight issue. Now you can put this on your lap, but after 30 minutes of playing BioShock this way, it gets, I mean, maybe because my body is a little different than the average human, it's just very uncomfortable. In fact, I kind of feel this kind of not RSI, but pinched nerve.
Like strain, a little bit strain. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to make us work out our arms more.
Potentially, but
gaming with exercise.
I mean, the final crux of the issue is it's really expensive. For what you get, you can get a Alienware M14X. With a faster GPU, same CPU, more RAM, a bigger screen, larger hard drive with a 32 gig SSD mSATA drive for the same price, and you would probably get more out of it in terms of gaming than this particular device. Now, if you're one of those people that is constantly on the go, yeah, I can see this being beneficial, or you're a Civ 5 fan and you just can't get enough Civilization 5, this is actually a great platform to play Civ 5 on.
Is it $1,400 worth Civ 5 playing?
That's the question you need to ask. Are you willing to spend over $1,400 on this device, not including the controller cradle or the additional battery that you can stick in it?
Yikes. Well, I'm curious to know what people out there, what you viewers think would be the redeeming characteristics of a device like this, because obviously we're having a hard time kind of making that workable.
And as a tablet, it's kind of heavy. It's a little too much for a tablet. If you're sitting on your couch, I would rather pull up my phone or have a laptop on my lap, because this thing's a little too cumbersome.
I really like the things that Razer is doing. I like they're thinking outside of the box, and I think that's exciting, especially in the gaming space right now.
When I heard about this, I was super stoked. But now that I've had time with it, it's one of those, it's kind of cool, but there's a lot of buts to this.
A lot of buts.
A lot of buts.
All right, well, thanks for showing it off. I would like to actually try to play some Lara Croft on there, because I'm playing it on the PC right now. Be interesting to compare the different ways of playing.
If you're setting up a website to start a new business, showcase your portfolio, or publish your blog, domain.com is the best place to go for your next great idea. And when you do, consider registering a new .com. A .com domain name is the original, and it's the best. It's globally understood, and it immediately gives credibility to your website, no matter what name you choose. Find a new .com domain name at domain.com. We on the show here love domain.com because they're affordable, reliable, and easy to use. Plus, domain.com's active social media presence on Twitter @domain.com and their great customer support make it a fun place to do business. We have an awesome coupon code with a big 20% discount off of domain.com's already low prices. Use the coupon code Tekzilla when you check out at domain.com. That's 20% off, folks. Big time savings. And don't forget to give the Tekzilla coupon code some love. And when you think domain names, think domain.com. And that's a .com.